Hello, everyone. Hi. This is so odd. I'm like in my car. I've never done this before. This is so strange. I've never done a YouTube live before. I didn't even know you could do a YouTube live without having 1,000 subscribers. So this is really interesting. I actually don't know a whole lot. Like, not that I don't know a whole lot about YouTube, but I think YouTube has changed so much in the past few years that like the old YouTube has just completely like shifted and everything is so different now. But today I want to talk about how to overcome the fear of failure. This is such a huge thing in my life right now because right now I've been on YouTube for the last like 6 months, I want to say. Is it 6 months? Almost 6 months. Yeah. And I've grown a lot. Like I think I've grown over like 500 plus subscribers, which is really, really good. I'm really close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, but it's just like, it's just hard when you have these expectations. I think I came in YouTube with expectations, came in like what I want to do, and I want to grow this fast. I want to be like this creator. These creators grew really fast. I think I can do it. For me, I'm like overly optimistic about my growth on YouTube. Maybe that's my problem. But lately I've been feeling like I'm failing this goal of mine, I'm not doing it. And that fear of failing sometimes is like it's like holding me back. I'm just gonna leave it there now that my camera shifted itself. The fear of failing is like trying to hold me back from doing that, like actually keep going on my YouTube channel, because you look at the numbers, you look at the work I put in, you look at all the stuff, and it's just like none of those is matching. So now it's like I'm failing. And for me, I've been like really trying not to stop, because I've started YouTube so many times. I've started a lot of things so many times, not just YouTube. Like I've started, whether it's weight loss or whether it's a new project. Like I start a lot of things. Like I'm really like excited about new goals, but the follow through of it is hard. And I think for me, a lot of I have this expectation, I have this goal, this what success is going to look like. And when it's not happening, I start to get afraid that I'm going to fail. So I just stop right before I fail. And I really do think that's a form of failure too. Like just quitting in the middle is a form of failure. So I'm going to talk about the things that I've been doing to kind of overcome this fear of failure and pushing through that hump and getting through on the other side. And I think this feeling of I'm going to fail comes in waves. Like it comes in waves based on what you're doing. It comes in waves based on like what's going on in your life. And for me, it's been like, hold on, I think someone's in here. I just can't, I've never done a live on YouTube. So I don't know how to like know who's on YouTube. Okay. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to know who's on, but if someone's on, hi, I see one person. Hi, thank you for joining. We're talking about how to overcome the fear of failure. But anyways, so for me, the things that I've been doing in the last really 6 months of trying to keep myself consistent and not stop and not quit. The first thing I think is really been naming my fear. Like I think my therapist always said, name it to tame it. Naming that I'm feeling this fear, like really actually like verbally expressing it and saying, I'm afraid that I'm going to fail, that this goal is not going to happen. I'm afraid that the goal that I set for myself to have 1,000 subscribers, by the beginning of the year is not going to happen. I'm afraid that I'm going to stop. I'm afraid that I'm not going to follow through on this. Like naming the fear itself, actually verbally naming it and actually saying it takes the power away. Hi, I think there's another person in. I don't know how to see who's on. I'm so sorry. I will figure out YouTube Live next time before I actually get on. But hi, I'm talking about how to overcome the fear of failure. So for me, it's been naming it, like actually naming it, and it takes the power away from the actual feeling, because our feelings are fluid, like they come and go. You'll feel one thing now, you feel the next the other. So I think the thing that keeps that feeling, that emotion, like fear in us, and we dwell on it, is that we don't release it, right? It's like held in us. Like I think about it, I'm gonna fail, I'm not gonna do this. But when I express it and I take the power away from it, it almost gives it like the room for it to like flow away, right? Our feelings are in and out. So if I name my fear, I say, I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid of that I won't hit whatever goal that I have. And that's how I feel. It takes the power from it, and it gives us the power, because a lot of us, like this fear, these feelings, we think they're controlling us. Like we think that like I feel failure, like failures, it's like, no, I have the power to shift these feelings. So for me, it's been naming it and also facing it. Like naming it is actually how you face your fear. You have to face it. A lot of people think facing your fear is like, I don't know, going in front of like a snake or something. I'm afraid of snakes. Like I don't know. Like I don't want to be in front of a snake. Like I just don't. But I think for me, it's just like if I verbally am exposing that fear and saying this is a fear that I have, it really takes the power away from it. And then also when it comes to facing it, how do you do that practically? I think practically when you face your fears, you have to write them down. I think that's a way to expressing it. Talk about it to somebody else, verbalize it to yourself. There's times where I'll sit and just be like, I'm afraid right now. I have a fear right now. I think I'm going to fail. So that's how you do it. You really have to take it out of here and put it out into the world. And when something is out of your mind and you see it, a lot of the times you're able to actually, what is the word I would say? You're able to manage it, right? You're able to manage that fear more instead of it being up here, because our brain twists things. Our brain like takes this and blows it out of proportion, because fear to our brain is physical, right? Like our brain, when we fear something, our brain thinks that there's a tiger in front of us that is trying to kill us. That's what fear is to our brain. Our brain doesn't know the fear of failure and the fear of a tiger about to kill us. To our brain, that feeling is the same exact feeling. Like the chemicals that are released, that reaction that happens in our brain when we feel failure is the same exact one that will show up when you're being chased by a tiger. It's the same thing. So that's why we have to really expose it, because it gives our brain a chance to know that this is actually not a fear that's in front of me. It's not physical, it's emotional. And then once I have it out, I know how to manage it. And then I also would say for me, as far as before I go on, just the person that's been in this live this whole time, do you have any questions? Are there any questions? Again, I'm trying to see if I can see comments. Let's see. Chat, no one, there's no chat. Okay, no one is chatting, no one has asked a question. I think I will know that when somebody does that. So yeah, so that's the first one, is exposing it. And then the next thing is, a lot of the times, like fear, usually the opposite of fear is faith. And then also within that, faith is action. So there's 3 steps in this next section that I'm going to talk about. So once you expose the fear, now you say, okay, why am I feeling like this? Is that you don't have faith. I think really, like, a lot of the times we don't have faith. If for me, it's like, I don't have faith that I'm going to get to 1,000 subscribers. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to fail because I don't have the faith. I don't believe that's going to happen. So now I have to address that faith thing. So why don't I have that faith? Is it the faith because I truly, like, I'm not putting in the work that it takes to get to 1,000 subscribers? Or for you, it's like you have a goal to make a certain amount of money, or to get in a relationship, or to go to the gym. Like, you're afraid that you're going to fail. Is it because there's an actual practical thing that you're not putting in the work? So it's real that, like, you actually aren't going to meet that goal because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing? Or is it that just faith that you don't believe in yourself? You don't believe that you're that person, that you can do that. You don't have that faith, that belief. So that there's a faith piece in that. And then also, so how do we grow our faith? Our faith, we grow it by our actions. So for me, it's like, if I get on YouTube, for example, if I get on YouTube and I actually, I schedule my posts, or I actually get on here and say that, okay, I'm going to post weekly, and actually do it, and then I do it consistently, right? I'm taking the right actions. So my faith, that my belief in myself is growing because I know that I'm doing the right thing, right? So that kind of takes, okay, it's not the faith piece. And I'm doing the right action. So I hope that example makes sense. And I think a lot of us think that it's just one thing. It's like fear has a lot of different things. Taking action and actually moving into your fear, I think it's how you're going to overcome it. So that is it. Like, is it a faith thing? Like, you don't believe in it? Or is it like, I'm not taking enough action? And I think taking action shows you that I'm doing the right thing and I'm moving forward. And for me, every single time I take action towards a goal, I don't feel like I'm failing because I know I'm doing something towards it. And then the other thing too about failure is it actually you're afraid of failing? Or are you actually afraid of rejection? Like, sometimes fear, like failure is, can be masked like we're afraid of being rejected. Like I put myself out there, say I'm gonna do this, and then maybe I'm gonna be rejected by people if I don't succeed. Maybe it's a fear of rejection. So sometimes our fears get masked in other things that are happening. So for me, it's just really has been learning and really almost investigating what the fear is about. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that is that overcoming the faith. So just to recap, one is actually exposing the fear and talking about it, expressing it, taking the power away from it, taking the emotion out of it, and then putting it down, writing it down, talking about it, getting it out of your mind, and giving your brain a chance to actually know that this is an emotional fear. It's not, I'm not in physical danger. Because a lot of us we weren't taught that. We weren't taught the fact that our brain doesn't know the difference between our emotional fear and an actual physical danger. Like we weren't taught that. Nobody, like I didn't know that until I was like, I don't know, into my 20s. So no one teaches us that. And then the next thing to do is understand that is this fear, like fear comes out of lack of faith. And why do I lack faith? Do I not believe in myself? Am I not doing what I'm supposed to be doing? So that's how you overcome fear from my perspective, because it really does it's just like, it's simple, but it's not easy. And again, we go through life, we're up and down with our fear of failure. So I don't know what the thing is that you want to do. I don't know what kind of goal you have, but if you try this out and expose your fears, address it, and then see, do I have faith in myself? Am I believing in myself? And then also, if you don't have the faith, am I taking the right actions? Like, am I actually doing the thing that I said I would do? Because a lot of the times we're afraid of failing because we actually are not doing what we're supposed to be doing. So we have to take responsibility too in that feeling. And then also, I would also say that you have to not really extraneous expectations for yourself when it comes to this, because a lot of us set these huge amount of extraneous expectations, and then when we fail, we're upset at ourselves. It's like you really did set yourself up to not be successful, and the more you set yourself up like that, your brain is just gonna associate yourself with failure. Like, I'm gonna fail, because you're setting yourself up for success. I think we need to help ourselves, right? Help yourself by making sure that the goal that I have or idea or whatever it is, I'm gonna do it in a smart way. Like, is it a smart goal? Is it sustainable? Can you do it? Sometimes we say I'm afraid of failure, but then you look at the goal, you're like, I mean, can you actually do that in that sort of amount of time? So it's just like being smart about it and being mature and saying, you know what, I don't have the capacity for this goal right now, and I'm not gonna beat myself up I'm not gonna beat myself up because I think I'm gonna fail. It's just like, I'm not gonna do this goal. I'm gonna do something else, or I'm gonna simplify this goal. So that's how I have been trying to really expose and overcome my fear of failure. I know that was all over the place, but thank you for the one person that was on. This is my first YouTube live, and I think I did pretty good. So if you have any questions, this video will be up. And other than that, I hope that I see you in my next live. Have a good one. Bye. I don't know how to end this. There we go.